Welcome to the Mad Marketing Show on Success Radio USA with host Alex Belding. Brought to you in part by the 365 Grand Club, Colorado Springs' only elite urban downtown club. Get your card today and start enjoying the benefits of downtown with ease and prestige. Get your club card today by going to 365grandclub.com. That's 365grandclub.com. Now let's join our host for today's Mad Marketing Show, Alex Belding.
Thanks for joining us on the Mad Marketing Show. I am your host, Alex Belding. You can obviously tune into us on Facebook. We are streaming live. We are also on the IB Network. You can visit our website, theibnetwork.us or madcrane.com. We are on TuneIn Radio as well as SoundCloud. Just simply search for the Mad Marketing Show and be sure to find us and follow us there. Today we are joined by the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Mark Timbrook of Springs Up Marketing and Mobile Apps. Super happy to have you on the show today. For the listeners out there, what is Springs Up Marketing and who is Mark Timbrook?
Yeah, thanks, Alex. It's great to be here and appreciate this. This was pretty hot stuff in here. I started Springs Up Marketing a couple years ago as a consulting marketing firm and kind of evolved into mobile apps. And we started developing mobile apps. One thing we found is mobile apps were very expensive to develop, usually starting somewhere $10,000 or more. And so we were really leaving out the small business, the independent businesses. And so we found a way to create mobile apps. We built a system that we use modules, and we put these things together, brings the cost down, gives them a first-class app, a mobile app that they can use for their business, and made it affordable. So, we're starting at about a tenth of the price of a typical mobile app.
That's an incredible number to achieve there. Yeah, that's exciting stuff. So what are some things that people might hear mobile app and go, well, isn't that everything? Like what kind of apps do you do?
Yeah, it really is. So, the great stat that I've seen recently that keeps popping up is one stat is 51% of our time is now spent in mobile devices. It's the first time it surpassed PC and laptops in 2016. Yeah. So most of our time is spent on that, but 86% of our time that we spend on our mobile devices is in apps.
Right. It's Facebook.
It's everything we do. And it's just a way to, it can be a way to engage customers more, engage people, obviously games and things like that in Facebook. But it's given a whole new level to mobile presence for businesses to, people that have had a mobile presence before are moving more into mobile apps because it's more engaging. You're always on their phone and you always have access to it. Your branding is on their phone, all the time. So.
Well, and you can maybe target a younger demographic in a way that, you need to meet them where they are, right? And
That's right.
They're on their device.
That's right.
That's
right.
Awesome.
And one of the problems has been, just the bulk of...
Right, and the access.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's, breaking the price down by a tenth. I mean, that's a wow factor, man. That's crazy. That's awesome news.
Absolutely. Yeah. And, for a large company like a Chick-fil-A or a Home Depot or something, they can afford to spend,
sure. Right.
6 figures and sometimes even 7 figures to develop an app. But the local business owner or a small business owner that has
Main Street.
Main Street hasn't been able to have that access. So now we've made it so that they can.
Wow. Well, that's really, really something else. One of the reasons I really wanted to have you on the show was because not just apps, but you spoke about the rise of progressive apps. So now we're really going to confuse some folks that are tuned in and listening. But what is the difference from an app to a progressive app? app?
That's a great question. And this is something that has really popped up in the last couple of years. And one of the things that we've seen with apps is they're bulky, they're heavy, they consume your phone battery, your phone memory. Right. And so how many apps are you deleting, throughout the year because you just don't have space, or, I get those alerts all the time. Hey, you got 2 processes running, and
you can't
shut
take
them
pictures
down
anymore, right?
Yeah. So one thing they started doing a couple years ago is moving into a cloud-based app rather than what's called a native app. So a native app resides on the phone, and you'll find it on iTunes and Google Play. But a progressive web app is actually housed in the cloud, so you don't have all that bulky, memory storage, battery drain.
Right, you let the power
goes on with that. Right,
you let the power of the cloud take all of that operational computation off of the device.
Absolutely. So that's opened a lot of doors for us. It was a little resistant for us at first because we do native apps as well. Mm-hmm. And hearing this trend about progressive web apps, we weren't really buying into it right away. But the more we've seen it over the last year, we realized this is a tremendous advantage because there's a thing called app fatigue, right? Where,
mm-hmm.
People delete apps because they're running out of space, they're running out of room,
it's not useful anymore.
It's not useful.
Right.
And so they're deleting apps. Well, with the progressive web apps, it doesn't take up any space of your phone. So it's just an icon. It's basically a shortcut to the app in the cloud.
Right. You could argue that the app effectively becomes a website, right? I mean, it becomes hosted on a URL, and what's on the phone is just like a wireframe that allows it to maybe be a little bit more user-friendly. Is that kind of the idea?
It is. And it does show up as a website, so you can actually pull it up on your desktop. It doesn't look as great as it does on your phone.
Right.
But the fact that you don't, it has all these other facilities to it, like push notifications. You can still do with a progressive web app. So, that's something you can't do with a mobile app. So with a mobile website. There's a lot of differentiations that it still retains that a normal mobile app will have, but now, it's just a shortcut. So
cool. Well, so what's maybe an example of something that's maybe approachable or tenable for someone listening to this to say, oh man, I need that. I need to call Mark. I need to get in touch with Springs Up mobile apps.
Yeah, probably one of the biggest things that we launched 2 months ago that's really taken off are the digital business cards. And what we found is it's a good, not everybody needs a mobile app. A small business owner may or may not need it. If he wants to engage customers more, he wants a loyalty program or something like that, it's great for him. But if, you're just an individual person, a salesperson, or an individual business, mobile app may not make sense, but a digital business card has been a very powerful tool for that. And we start those at $100. It's an annual subscription, so you can get a personal mobile app for yourself. And the big advantage to that is I can share that out real easy. So I can send that to you on my phone. You can save it. You can share it to friends and so on. And so it becomes exponential.
Yeah, and 5 degrees of Kevin Bacon, right?
That's right. And that's the power of the progressive web app, because if I shared a normal mobile app with you, you would debate whether to save that on your phone because it's going to take precious space.
Right. Well, and I've seen, to another point, I've seen business cards apps where they do share it, but you have to download a whole app.
That's right.
To view there, and you're like, oh, it's like I'm being baited and switched. Or like, I don't want to download. And then it's like 60 megabytes. You're like, good Lord.
That's right. And the way we do it is it performs exactly like a mobile app should.
Right. So it's a URL. It populates. Oh, that's really clever. And then again, now you don't have to, because I struggle with this all the time, is I show up and I have no cards.
Right.
And I'm that guy at the networking event with no cards. Whoops.
Right.
And now instead I can share a link and, what's your email? But what's your text message? I can shoot you a text. I assume you can text it, right? I mean,
you can. Yeah, that's the main way to share, and that's the way I like to encourage people to share it, because it's going to another phone, and they can save it and share it and download it. Well, not download it. It's just
it's always available. It's always there. Yeah.
So it's a great tool, and networking groups, it works great. When I'm trying to refer somebody in my networking group, I can scavenge through my phone and try to find their number, or I can just click on their mobile app and send it out to who I'm referring them to. It's a great way to do that. Sales, I mean, it really our idea started with a car lot in Kentucky, and they had over a dozen salespeople. And of course, it doesn't displace business cards because you're still going to want to hand them out every once in a while.
Yeah, and some people need that tactile reminder, right?
Yeah. Right, but they wanted something a little different because the salesperson could send them to the website or something and then lose track of that person that they talked to. If they give them that digital business card real quick, that person always has it, and it's connected to their mobile app as the dealership as well. So it can give them, a personalized app for each salesperson that also ties into their full mobile app too.
Right, and if we think about what a business card really is, it's a communication tool, and so by digitizing it and putting it into a progressive app, you can change the way you communicate with people. You can hand out that physical, here, this is going to sit on your desk, or hopefully go through your laundry, and you're going to go, oh crap, I got to call that guy. Yeah. But now you can also send him a text message, send push notifications and all of that.
Push notifications, yeah, and that's a powerful thing too. That if you've got an existing base of clients and you want to make them aware of some things coming up, you've got that option now that obviously you don't have with a business card.
You can vibrate in their pocket. You can't make your business card vibrate, at least not yet, right?
That's right.
But now it can ping. It can say, hey, we've got an event coming up, or really do want to grab coffee with you. I wasn't kidding. Let's have a meeting. That's really fun.
Yeah, and the digital business card, obviously, a business card is going to give you the basic information of an individual: phone number, email, website. But the business card taps you into, we can do a full bio, and we've even had guys put, hey, let's put a special on that about feature button.
Oh, wow.
And in fact, the car dealership said, hey, $200 to refer a friend to me, and I'll give them $200 when they buy. You get $200.
Oh, my goodness.
And so you can do things like that, and obviously have a direct link to the website as well through that app.
So that's really clever. Yeah, it expands your presence. It makes it so that your communication is forthwith. I mean, and it's available all the time. I want to keep talking about this. We're going to have to take a quick little break with our sponsors, but we'll be right back. We're talking to Mark with Springs Up Mobile Apps.
It gives clarity to problem solving. It increases production and focus on the job. It alleviates sleepless and restless nights and fends off stress and tension headaches. No, it's not the latest energy drink or health supplement. It's Legal Shield. Get peace of mind every day, every night, now and forever. Legal Shield. Get it.
To find out more about Legal Shield and how it can protect your family and your business, call Andrea at area code 719-243-3174. That's area code 719-243-3174. Legal Shield. Did you know the highest level of brand awareness is top of mind awareness? Top of mind brand awareness is when a customer needs to make a purchase within your product category and they think of you first. Top of mind brand awareness is built through repeated exposure and consistent brand delivery. Tying your brand to one of our internet shows or one of our internet radio networks can expose your brand to hundreds of people every day. Think of how top of mind brand awareness can give you a huge advantage in the market when a customer is ready to buy and your brand immediately comes to mind first. It's affordable, consistent longevity that can reach your exact demographic locally or nationally. Call today, 719-243-3172. That's 719-243-3172. Programming produced by and for the Internet Broadcasting Network can be found on TuneIn. Be sure to take us with you by using the TuneIn app on all your mobile devices. This is the IB Network.
Hey, we are back. You are listening to the Mad Marketing Show. I am your host, Alex Belding, and we have Mark Timbrook of Springs Up Marketing and Mobile Apps in studio with us today. And we have been talking about apps and then also about progressive web apps, kind of a move from native apps to a more lightweight, nimble, progressive web app that is entirely based in the cloud. And Mark has a really unique product that he has developed and deployed real recently, right? Within like the last...
That's right. It's been about 6 weeks.
About 6 weeks. And basically digitizing the paper business card and creating a way for business owners and salespeople to easily share their contact information and make it way more than just, hey, here's my email address and phone number, but here's a link to my website, here's my social, here's a bio about who I am.
Right.
It sounds like during the break we were talking about how much traction this is getting and how many eyeballs have seen your digital business cards in the last 4 weeks. It was over 2,000.
Yeah.
I mean, that's for just getting going. That's really impressive. That means people are using it and liking it. What's the feedback you're getting? What are some use cases that you've heard of?
Yeah, it's been spectacular. We actually developed an app. It's a little more than a business card app, but it's kind of got the same concept to it, but for a congressional candidate in Kentucky. And the one thing that they really liked is being able to share that out exponentially. So, with hers, we built in everything from the join the team kind of thing,
right,
to donate. And,
political campaign donations.
Right, absolutely.
It's already the season.
And
Thank you for reminding me.
That's right. That's right. So they were coming into their primaries in May or June. I think it's June in Kentucky, and we're about then too. But they really got excited about it. The other thing with it is we started at a point where, they didn't have a lot of money to start with. And so we built a level, but now we can scale it up. So we can do other things and integrate other things into that app and start turning it into a more useful piece. And
right, because at the end of the day, it really is. It's software. I mean, you can plug additional pieces and
that's right,
and widgets. You can start with the one room cabin and build the skyscraper over time.
That's right. Yeah. And so, I ran into a friend of mine. We had a meeting the other day before a networking meeting and that he was going to, and we wrapped things up. We were the last two people there finishing some things up. I left and he gives me a call just a few minutes after I left. He said, I forgot I don't have my car with me. I was supposed to get a ride with one of the other guys. Can you come back and get me? And so I did. And he said, how I found your number is I'm scrambling through my contacts trying to find it. And he said, oh, I've downloaded his app. I got his app. So he clicked on my app, used the quick call button, and just called me.
Ta-da.
So it worked great.
Exactly as intended, right?
That's right.
And he didn't have to fumble around and dial a number. It was even faster.
That's right.
Oh, my goodness.
So those are the kind of things. I mean, obviously that's a fun one, but it does make it easy because when you have the icon on your phone, it's got your picture. Ideally, that's how we design it.
Right.
And so I can go to my page full of apps, which I've got now of digital business cards, and I can click on that face that I know and make that quick call rather than scrambling through my phone and what was their last name or
right. I made the joke about the laundry because that's my real life. Right. I mean, I launder so many people's business cards. It's terrifyingly sad. I mean, and they just turn into they turn into nothing. They turn into pulp.
If you launder these, you're not going to be in good shape.
Right. Well, yeah. but at least the information isn't gone. I mean,
that's right.
So if you share it digitally, digital, it has a way of sticking. It has a way of being.
It does.
Hanging around.
Right.
And
it's a lot easier to change digitally. And that was the case. The other thing that we were talking about with the dealership is, dealerships have a little bit of turnover in the sales department, and so now we can take that one that we've already created, just make a few changes to adapt to the new salesperson. So, it's something that can evolve with you, can grow with you, can change if you have turnover.
Yeah, this could be an approach for entire organizations to, instead of all the design and shipping costs and print costs associated, you can truncate quite a bit of cost and move everything digitally.
Absolutely. Yeah, there's no printing costs with digital, so you've got it right there, right. And to be able to share that out is amazing.
Right. Well, and as I joked, I always forget my cards, but I never forget my phone. I mean, if I forgot my phone, I would forget to eat. I would forget all kinds of insanity.
Yeah, I did that. I took a day off from my phone about a month ago, and I literally took it from the night before to 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
It was a struggle, but it makes you realize how much we depend on those things. And there was so much temptation. I got to pick it up. I got to pay. But so it is always there, and it's convenient, and it's So
it's a little 4-inch by 2-inch window into the universe. I mean, without the phone, and then now the business. I mean, and again, I really like the idea that by moving a business card, something that is such a pillar of our community. Mm-hmm. Into an application, into a shareable, transferable, it becomes more than just a piece of paper. Now it really becomes a communication tool.
That's right.
And a way to interact with customers, prospects, colleagues. I mean, it doesn't have an angle. Right. I mean, it's people need your information. You need their information.
Right.
And so many trees turn into small little pieces of paper.
It really is. I mean, we hand out a lot when we're out, talking to people, and it makes quite a difference. So I like seeing that trend moving away from that, and that is it's another green tool. It's great.
Yeah. Well, and like you said, now it's way more nimble. Mm-hmm. You can update your information. You can change emails. You can change people. How does this work if I wanted to get in touch and get one? It sounds like you can buy for large groups of users. You don't have to just buy per. How does that work? What's the pricing, and how do I get one?
Right. So we basically have two levels of the digital business card for individuals. So we've got a basic and we've got a plus, and the plus just gives you a little more flexibility to be able to change and have some control on your own. Mm-hmm. And very soon we'll have the push notifications as part of that plus as well. And then the third level is what we call the team, and digital business card for the team. And that's where that's a little more custom, because it could be you just want 10 business cards for your salespeople. Right. And we have price breaks as the quantities go up. But the other thing is that business, like the dealership, may want to create a full app where they have the service department on there. They do scheduling for service. They do coupons. They do a loyalty program. You search the inventory. We're talking to a power sports company right now that they have 7 salespeople, and they want to build a mobile app to incorporate their e-commerce for their parts and accessories. And so we'll build the full app for that piece, and then individualize it for each salesperson. So
right now it makes it easier for commissions. It makes it easier to put orders in and get customers serviced. Right. I mean, a sales guy could do it right from the floor.
Right.
That's really clever.
And they can browse their inventory right there too, the new and used inventory that they have for in this case,
more
for motorcycles.
Hold on, I'll be right back.
Right.
And they do that cycle 6 times,
or just trying to find the website. Hey, I want to find that website I was looking for. I Google it, I may find the right one, I may not. But now your brand is right on their phone, so they can go there all the time and they say, hey, what's new? What's on the used lot today?
Yeah, exactly. Re-engage.
Right.
Oh, really smart. Really smart. Well, so it sounds like this mobile app is really, it has legs. It sounds like you're really expanding it. And so then do you license access to it? Do I pay you a monthly subscription? How does that work?
Great question. So we do an annual subscription of $100 for the basic, and that gives you everything you need to have a digital app. So it gives you a website connection to your website, a full bio, or you can kind of customize that. We'll even put a video in there for you if you've got an existing video through YouTube or Vimeo.
Nice.
We can link that from your About page. Obviously, the quick call button and just the contact information. And then an easy way for them to share.
Right.
And so that's $100. The next step up is that $300 one. So
okay. And that means they have more customization, a little bit more backbone to the app.
And so your question was the subscription. So yeah, we base everything on subscriptions. Now, when we do a full-blown app for somebody like this power sports company, they want to integrate their e-commerce system, which we have.
Right. That's not. I mean, that's a much bigger thing thing than just like
so then we do like a setup fee, and then we have a subscription, and which is kind of like a hosting agreement with a web company. So
well, this is really awesome because it's not only is it a way to access something that's really, $100 a whole year. Right. Good Lord, I pay way more for the Economist magazine every quarter. Right. But I mean, if you think about it, it's a really good way to change your communication protocols. It's a really good way to never be without your information again. Right.
Well, and it's so unique. It is unique right now. I mean, I've had people send business cards to me as an app, but again, it's download. You got to download the app to do it. So this is a relatively new thing. So that's what a lot of the guys that have gone with this have really grasped onto is, this is something different. I can differentiate myself. And you raise some eyebrows when you start sending something a little different like this. Right.
Well, and it's just it's a way to do the traditional of, hey, here's my information.
Right.
If you're giving it to Alex Belding, he's going to put it through the wash and potentially forget about you. Right. But in this case, hey, I share it with you. I know you've got it, Now, if you determine that you're not going to follow the link or open up that's your call, right? It's still not like Big Brother-esque where you're getting into their phone or anything like that.
That's right.
Which is, again, I think that and we'll have to talk about this after the break here, but I think that really comes into the app fatigue is that when you literally download that hardware onto your phone, now it's always there. It bogs things down. Whereas this is just a link. That's all it is. It's a link in a text message or a link in an email. It's a hyperlink.
That's basically a shortcut. Yeah. That's what it is.
And if you want to pull it onto the desktop of your phone, you can. I assume you can save a bookmark, and that's all it is. It's a bookmark. It's exactly always a hyperlink. So I think that's a really clever idea. I'm really excited to hear that you've gotten some good traction about it. Yeah. Well, we're here talking with Mark on the Mad Marketing Show. He's with Springs Up Marketing and Mobile Apps. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after a short word from our sponsors.
How is a car like a computer?
I don't know. How?
If you don't do routine maintenance, they get gooped up and fail early. By performing routine maintenance, your system performance will be improved, keep it secure, and find issues while they were small.
Well, Elk Creek Computers will perform routine maintenance on your computers for $99 per system. Call us at 719-576-4122 to schedule an appointment today.
This week, my name is Harley Mitchell. Next week, I'm not sure yet. Maybe I'll use your name. You see, I'm a cyber criminal, and I steal information that defines who you are. Things like your driver's license number, your birth date, your home address, your office address, your social security number, your medical information, insurance cards, business licenses, and if I can get it, your birth certificate. If I can get one, I can get the rest. It's not personal. It's just business. Once I have your information, I bundle it with others and I sell it. Not just once, but over and over and over and over and over.
Due to recent massive data breaches, your personal information is now available for cyber criminals like Harley to buy and sell to their underworld counterparts for profit. Bad people with bad intentions hiding behind your identity. Don't be fooled and lock down your financial life. Use the professionals that Fortune 500 companies use, ID Shield and Legal Shield. It costs less and reaches further. Don't lock down your life. Call Andrea Wacker and get the right protection for the right problem. Andrea Wacker is your Lady of Justice. Call now at 719-243-3174. That's 719-243-3174.
Click the Tune In Follow tab and have instant access to your favorite IB programming. IB is your Internet Broadcasting Network.
Hey, we are back. You are listening to the Mad Marketing Show. I am your host, Alex Belding, and we have Mark Timbrook in the studio today, and he is the owner, founder, creator, runner, digital whiz kid behind Springs Up marketing and mobile apps. And before the break, we were really talking about how your business card app is really more than that. It's a communication. I mean, it can expand and become all kinds of things. Right. But during the break, we were really talking about why progressive web apps are so awesome, because you don't have to deal with the download. Right. Oh my goodness, and I know I've had this conversation with plenty of other app developers or companies that have invested in an app, and they have a really hard time getting traction because of the dreaded download. I mean, it is a massive step to show somebody the opportunity to use the app when they have to download it. And that's what makes progressive apps so awesome, is there is no download. You don't have to. They're immediately usable. And we were talking about how the reason you have marketing in your name is because you work with your clients to help them understand that, to help them use the app and really get that initial traction and get the users to use it, right? I mean,
well, and this isn't just a fad that's we've started. This is something that's been going on a couple of years, and companies like Forbes, even LinkedIn and Pinterest, and all these companies are starting to move toward progressive web apps. And Forbes commissioned a study a few years ago in 2014, and it showed there were 179 billion downloads of mobile apps.
Wow,
179 billion with a B.
Yeah,
and they predicted by the end of 2017 it would be 269 billion. And it did fall short of that, quite a bit short.
Right. Oh, really?
And that's that. And some of the things that they're talking about is, people just aren't downloading apps because they're so bulky. And so that's one reason Forbes and some of these other companies have gone to progressive web apps, and they've seen engagement increase. They've seen, speed of the app increase, and pathways through and time spent on and all the stats that you expect to track as a marketer.
The analysts get all excited about, man. Ooh.
Those are the things that they're seeing do this. So, Google has endorsed it, and, Forbes has taken on, like I said, Pinterest, and some of these other big companies have done this for a while. So when we started seeing those names involved, we said, we really need to pay attention to this, because this isn't just a trend. This is something that's changing the industry. And so we've kind of got on the front end of that.
And it totally takes... It answers the question of adoption, because you don't have the download. I mean, it was the dreaded download. I mean, I don't joke when I say that. I mean, it sounds funny, but it is true. Like, getting an app to get downloaded, getting users to actually engage and use it, especially when there's a download feature, is tough. It's one thing to send them to an app that instantly works, right? I mean, it's just it's a quick, light, nimble link.
Right.
I mean, and that's great.
We were kind of talking about you got to be on Wi-Fi to download those apps anymore. And sometimes if you're on limited data, you're not going to want to do it unless you absolutely have to. Because, I did a screenshot of one of my screens the other day and just looked at all apps that I've downloaded on that screen, and it was 2.5 gig of data just on one screen. And I've got, 10 home screens that I've got
you're just
on.
Piled
up. Of course, more and more are becoming progressive web apps, but those just 2.5 gig, just one screen of apps. So it makes sense that the trend is slowing a little bit than what they expected, because, people are weary. They're not they're not looking to bring a big old bulky file onto their phone unless it really makes sense.
And then, or they will, they'll bring it on, and then the minute you're stopping them being able to take pictures of their kids, your app is gone, right? You can't take pictures
what
anymore.
Gives away the video or that's right, the home video or the mobile app.
Right, yeah, and it's the mobile app loses all day long, right,
absolutely.
That's really awesome. So you have marketing, Springs Up Marketing. Mm-hmm. So there is obviously more to just building, deploying a progressive web app or a native web app if the case demands. How do you help your clients really get the traction, get these things used, and what's your experience in having a business launch an app? Because it's a lot of work. It's people forget it's not field of dreams. If you build it, they will come.
That's absolutely right.
If you build it, no one cares. And the good news is that you realize that. You help your clients not only develop, deploy, and create, but also actually make it a successful app.
Right. And we founded Springs Up Marketing on, being able to build lead generation systems and things. That's my background. I've been in marketing for over 16 years in an official sense, but probably 25 years in a practical sense, just stuff I've done on my own. But, we built it around, lead generation. We had done some video, and we'd done a lot of things to kind of help small businesses build their foundation. And that's why we thought apps were a great fit for what we did. And so when we started building apps, the one opportunity we do have is to help somebody manage those pieces and really take it beyond just hey, great, I've got an app. And I put it on Facebook, and I got a few downloads. Well,
holy wow!
And it does take some work, just like with everything that you do. If you've got a new product, you don't just say, "Hey, I got a new product," and expect everybody to buy it. So we do that on the backside too. That we can help people, promote that. There's great ways now, and some of the things it does with the internet, because it is actually a URL. You can do a lot of new things with traditional digital systems.
Yeah, it's a little bit easier to market it because, again, you don't have to. You can hit them while they're on their desktop because they can still get to it, or you don't have to send them to the Play Store. That's always a big red flag. I'm leaving the platform and going to the App Store.
Right. And we can actually tie it to their existing domain too. We make it as a subdomain to
nice.
their domain. App.
Example.com, right?
Yeah, exactly right. And so that's a real benefit from them too. Now there's debates on how much a subdomain helps your regular domain, but it is going to help your SEO. It's going to help your web presence, and
it just keeps it easy to remember.
It does.
You can put it on marketing collateral in print, and somebody can punch it in and actually physically go there, without having to do all the garbly-gook of a long tail, /XY125.
Right.
Oh my Lord,
Right.
You always feel terrible when you see those. Who printed
Try
that?
and make it as simple as possible.
Yeah, exactly.
And it does. That makes it easy for you to remember and integrate with your existing plans, your existing SEO strategies and things like that.
Right. Well, and you can even key it into an email and say, hey, check it out, sign up,
Absolutely. Facebook, email, Twitter.
All over the place.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, I love subdomains, but that's just me. Anyway.
Well, that's good. That's
you
good.
Gotta chill out on the subdomain love, man. Oh man, I love it. Anyway, so you've got some traction with your mobile app. What are some success stories that you guys have seen? What have these things really accomplished for clients here in Colorado Springs area?
Yeah, well, a fun one we did several months ago is Rizzuto's Ice Cream here in Colorado Springs.
Oh, yes.
And if you know Rizzuto's, they were ranked on BuzzFeed as the number one soft serve ice cream store in Colorado.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so they did quite several algorithms on how they figured that out. But Rizzuto's is great. But they wanted to look at, hey, how can I put some coupons online here, or in people's hands? How can I do a loyalty program? He tried several things. The cards, the cards are
punch cards. Yeah,
it can be such a nemesis. How many cards do you have in your wallet? Punch cards do you have?
I have to empty them out and put them on my windowsill. It's terrible.
And that's,
and I have a bunch of I have 10% to Queen's liquor, like 15 times. I'm not an alcoholic, I swear. I just have a lot of them.
I don't know. Did you want to admit that?
Yeah.
Right. Well, and that's the thing is the card, and he was having a real problem with it. And the other thing he was having problems with is fraud, is people, stealing the puncher. They had somebody steal the punch card, and a bunch of guys came in, hey, look at all these.
Yeah, exactly.
And then he tried, another prepaid type card, which worked for him, but it just wasn't ideal. So the digital piece, just to have that on your phone, and we can actually, when you do a loyalty program, they actually open the app, scan it with a QR code that they have behind the counter, and then it validates that punch. And we can set limits on it. Say you can only get one punch every 12 hours, and you can you have to be within a half mile of the business, and so we can actually GPS.
If you're addicted to ice cream and you're in here 5 times a day, we're not continuing this habit. We are not going to be held liable. Yeah. That's awesome.
So
that's really good. Well, and I use the Chick-fil-A app all the time.
Yeah, well, you can order, and that's the other thing that has become big too, is ordering online and be able. Thing we're working on a partnership with DoorDash right now that you will integrate the DoorDash piece into the app for restaurants too. So that's kind of fun. We're early stages on that, so maybe I shouldn't have said that.
Hey,
but we're working on it. We're trying to find ways to bring more value to the app.
That's awesome. And don't ever hesitate to say cool stuff on the Mad Marketing Show. We want to be heard it here first.
You heard it here
the
first.
Scoop.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right.
That's really fun.
Yeah.
Well, and I like the idea of working with the ice cream. How do I say it again?
Rizzutos.
Rizzutos. Yeah. See, apparently I missed the BuzzFeed.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, if you make that kind of a list, now you have an app to get people to come back, right? I mean, some people that are touring the ice cream parlors of Colorado.
Right. And something they wanted to do is they have their slow times, Tuesday afternoons or whatever. During this time of year, a lot of people aren't getting ice cream. So they can push out coupons at that time and say, hey, come get a buy one, get one free today.
Right. Or Christmas, right? Like it's,
right.
Hey, it's 15 degrees outside.
Right.
Who wants an ice cream?
Right.
Yeah. Versus in the summer, they got to line out the door.
Yeah.
And then November through February,
that's right.
It's a slower thing. Well, cool. Well, apps that, generate return customers. That's the dream. Well, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. You're listening to the Mad Marketing Show and Mark Timbrook with Springs Up Marketing. We'll be right back. Is your business on Facebook? Are you frustrated with how your website performs? Do you have a focused and measurable marketing plan? Are you struggling in executing your marketing plan? Well, tune in every Tuesday to the Mad Marketing Show and learn from the people who are actually making it happen. The internet is a convoluted and busy place. Learn how to cut through the noise with the Mad Marketing Show. New episodes air every Tuesday on Success Radio USA at successradio.us. Find us on Facebook at Mad Crane Marketing and post your digital marketing questions. You can find us on SoundCloud, TuneIn Radio, and iTunes by searching for Success Radio USA or The Mad Marketing Show. You can also visit us on the web at madcrane.com to learn more.
Delete.
Have you received an email response from our new client yet?
Well, I'm not sure. I'm having to deal with all this spam in my inbox, and it's becoming very frustrating.
Have you tried adding them to your block senders list?
Yes, but they keep coming back with a different email address, and it's driving me crazy.
I've heard that the experts over at Elk Creek Computers have an excellent spam filtering service that can significantly decrease the amount of spam emails we receive. I think we should give them a call and enroll today.
If you're dealing with spam overload, it might be time to call Elk Creek Computers for their very affordable spam filtering solution. Knowledgeable, trustworthy, and ready to serve, Elk Creek Computers. 719-576-4122. That's 576-4122.
Programming produced by and for the Internet Broadcasting Network can be found on TuneIn. Be sure to take us with you by using the TuneIn app on all your mobile devices. This is the IB Network.
Hey, we are back. You are listening to the Mad Marketing Show. I am your host, Alex Belding. We have Mark Timbrook in the studio today. He is with Springs Up Marketing and mobile apps, and we have been talking about mobile apps all hour, and we're not going to stop. But really, what we've talked about is progressive. This move from the digital fatigue of downloading apps, and how progressive apps are a great way to do that. And we've spent most of the hour talking about sales tools, whether it's the business card app, customer retention with Rizzuto's ice cream, and just apps that are designed to bring people into a retail location. There are probably folks listening saying, "Well, I don't care. I have no need for that."
Right.
But I have a whole bunch of employees. How do what else can apps do? What else can apps do?
Yeah, one thing I really realized coming out of the corporate world and working for a company that was tens of thousands of employees, well, better than 10,000 at least, is communication issue for businesses is a big issue. Employee engagement, communication. Right. Mm-hmm. So we started thinking, how can we do that with a mobile app? So we started developing employee-based mobile apps where all your communication is in one tool. You can have all the things, you can really tie into your payroll systems, things like that. So in a lot of cases, you can have access to your, what's my vacation time? How much vacation time do I have? And one of the things I found being in the corporate world is, there's so many different systems that we were tapping into, and it's, where do I go to do my expense report? Where do I find my vacation? And it's like,
or it's still on paper, right? And you're like,
or it's still on paper. And so to bring that all into one piece, we started putting together that type of app that would benefit. Really, I envision this to be 500 employees or more. But really, what we're finding too is there's a good opportunity below that where somebody has an HR manager that is fielding everything, but they're not a full-time HR manager. Maybe they're doing HR and they're doing operations.
Classic small business, way too many hats, right? Yeah.
And so they're fielding all these questions and all these things. And so what we started looking at is how can we help somebody like that or a business to offload some of the easy answers. And we've even looked at integrating some of the things that our friend at Relationship Martech has with the bots, where you can integrate that with apps and have some quick question answers and just really use it as a tool that is employee engaging and communication tool for those employees.
Okay, well, yeah. So, what are some real world examples? Like, what can an employee engagement app, and does it fill out my TPS report?
Yeah, I don't know if it'll do the TPS
facilitate
report.
My meeting with the Bobs? No,
that's right. Well, but the business could send you a push notification and say, "Hey, you have a meeting with the Bobs."
Oh, wow!
But you could use push notifications and things like that. But the big thing is to have you can do simple things like events. When there's company events, you can have tie in through the app and have employees engaged. But this is one of the biggest challenges that I was talking. I actually consulted with a couple high-end HR directors when we were looking at
doing
this.
Some research and figuring out what they need.
And they said two issues they had. Employee engagement is probably one of the biggest. Is keeping employees engaged and not just dragging them along, but making it so they want to be engaged. And
right, so they lean forward in the meeting so that they're actually paying attention.
Yeah, that's right. So they're actually tuned into what's going on with news feeds, and you can do things like that. We actually have some features that you can tap into tools like lynda.com where they can do education through that and actually do some continuing education. So So it is like it's like creating culture. Yeah.
Our producer just chimed in. He's like, "Dude, this is cool. It's like you're creating a cultural environment."
That's a great point. So, and the other thing too is we've partnered with Wishlist Rewards out of Denver, who actually provides a service that we can plug into the app, where employees can do employee-to-employee awards or rewards. And
thanks for picking up my shift kind of deal. Like,
and say, me as a supervisor, I can allow my 5 employees $10 a quarter to share with somebody else. And so they can do it through the app. They say, hey, Alex did a great job the other day. He picked up my shift. I'm going to give him a $10 gift card.
I always pick up the extra shifts, right? Yeah.
And they can share that through the app, and Wishlist Rewards, and it can get, they get really extravagant. You can even do all the way up to trips. And
nice.
And so,
send me to the Bahamas,
it becomes
man, right?
And they're big experiences too. But it's a really cool thing because you can start to develop that culture.
Right. Yeah. Tim was spot on. Like it's a way to make it part of the whole. There's no other. What's another word for culture? Culture of the business, where now you can swap shifts. You can, attaboy folks through the app. You can in all kinds of stuff.
Absolutely.
So apps don't have to just be about making money. They can and you could argue that a good work environment, a good culture, is what culture eats business development strategy for breakfast, right? I can't remember who said that, but I use it all the time.
Yeah.
And that's true. Like a good workforce, a good environment to come in and feel that you're part of the team, and it's easy to be a part of the team.
Right.
That's really fun.
Yeah, and just to have everything, like I said, the confusion of knowing where do I go for this? I mean, how much time is lost just trying to find stuff that you need to find? And so that was the other thing that in talking to these directors that's a big piece is let's not waste employees' time. We don't want to put something else in the hand that's gonna. And so that's what we started developing around is what's going to increase efficiency of their job, of their even their lifestyle and what they're doing.
Well, and what's going to keep them connected and happy? I mean, there are more articles about how begrudging and tough to manage and hard to motivate millennials are, but the same things that we seek, are connected to the boomer and the X generation. People just want to be connected. They want to have a community. They want to work for something that's more than just a punch clock.
Right.
And millennials are much more willing to run away from a job and a paycheck than other generations, just because we've always had a plethora of options, and so we're happy to change out our poker hand all the time. Whereas other older generations will stick with it longer. But it doesn't mean that humans generally want to be engaged. We want to have fun. We want to be connected. And an app that would allow for that, especially if it's deployable and easy to approach. I really like the way that you've approached an as a service pricing model, where if you don't have to come up with a whole bunch of capital up front, and you don't have to expend buku dollars on this. And again, you don't need to have the dreaded download. I mean, it's all progressive. It's
And with the employee apps, sometimes they want to lock this down, and we can lock it down with a progressive web app. But there are even further ways that we can do it if we develop it natively. That if they really need to keep things tight, we can do some things that.
Well, and if you're connecting to
just employee access only,
if you're if it's really connected to human resource records, I'm not sure that I want my tax forms floating out on the ether. Hey, I went to the website and I got all of your tax records. Thank you so much. I now have your social security, your address.
Well, and that's the great thing about these is we can integrate with a lot of different systems, and so we don't necessarily have that responsibility of trying to build this security system around every piece of data and matching HIPAA laws and all the others, but we can tap into those systems that already exist, and most likely a lot of companies, they've already got some kind of payroll system. If they don't, we can work with somebody we can recommend. But because there's so many things,
then you're just working with APIs and actually building the encrypted bridges between the platforms.
Absolutely right.
And again, you become you can build what you need. That's what's so fun about the digital space, is that
it is. That's right.
You don't have to have these out-of-the-box solutions that are turnkey, and therefore, hey, have my app, but you have to change all of your other business line. Like you need to switch 16 other vendors and change your relationships. No, let's work. Let's meet you where you are. And that's I love your philosophy on that.
We've done that a lot with, I like a booking system. Booking systems are common, and there's some really good ones out there. If somebody's already tapped into those, or we may even recommend somebody tap into those, for a hair salon or a spa and salon. It's a great example where they want to book online, and they probably already have a tool, or maybe they don't. If they don't, we can even custom generate something that works the way they want it to do, or integrate with those existing systems that are already fantastic. So we've got so much flexibility with the way these things are designed now. So it really opens up a lot of doors.
And you get to do what is useful to the business. Like you don't have to. You're not stuck with a one-trick pony, or you're not stuck with, hey, I only help you sell things. No, I help you, re-engage with your customers and create a feedback loop, or I help you help your employees to feel engaged and connected. And now, who's the Virgin? He's knighted, Sir Russell Branson, I think, maybe.
Oh, okay.
People are always so focused on the customer that they forget that the employee is the person that handles the customer, And so businesses that are focused on employees, the customer gets taken care of because the employee does their job,
That's right.
And they whistle while they work, they're happy-go-lucky and engaged.
It's been an exciting segment for us as it's starting to grow and just really see the opportunities there, because now you've got something internal, you can have something external, and you can even have something individualized. So really, you could go the full scale of that business.
Well, and so the numbers that you've shared in the breaks, you really are getting some really good traction on these apps, and you're really helping folks. That's
an exciting thing, and that's something I've always done my entire life. Is I've always worked for small business owners and really tried to help them grow. That's always been my goal. And then to get off on myself, it was time that to do that for a living. And so that I've really taken that seriously, that my goal is to help business owners better their business, whether it's internally, externally, or both.
No, that's good. There are tons of app companies out there that just give you an out-of-the-box solution, and then run away from you immediately. And it's good to see that is not how Springs Up Marketing does it. You guys really connect with the customer. You make sure that you're solving a problem. You make sure that you're getting the thing to be adopted.
That's right.
So we're coming into the end of the show, and I love to throw these big, huge softballs. But what's the 5-year goal, right? Like what do you see happening with the Springs Up Marketing? What do you see coming down the pike with apps? Pretending you're looking into a crystal ball for a second.
Well, the apps are the biggest momentum right now, and that's easy to see that's something that carries us through the next 5 years, where we become a major source. And the thing is, we're not restricted to Colorado Springs, which is where we're located.
You said Kentucky twice.
Yeah, Kentucky. I've been dealing with a guy in Michigan and in Arizona. So, virtually we can be everywhere, anywhere. And so that's kind of the goal, is to progress, beyond and just help business owners.
Well, Mark, thank you so much for coming on to the Mad Marketing Show. I'm your host, Alex Belding. You've been listening to the Mad Marketing Show with Mark Timbrook of Springs Up Marketing and Mobile Apps. Find him on Facebook at Springs Up Mobile Apps. You can visit the website, which is springsupmarketing.com, or you can reach out to the show and we'll put you in touch with Mark. Thank you for joining us on the Mad Marketing Show. You can find us via the IB Network on Facebook or via the website, which is ibnetwork.us. You can also find our show on TuneIn Radio and SoundCloud by searching for the Mad Marketing Show. Be sure to like us and follow us there. If you're interested in becoming a sponsor, please feel free to reach out to us either via the ibnetwork.us or on Facebook at the Mad Marketing Show. Thank you so much and have a mad, mad day.